Hi guys, let's practice English without stress. Relax, listen, and enjoy. Let's go.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our podcast, where we talk about learning English in a simple, fun, and practical way. My name is Jeff, and today we have a very special guest. His name is Carlos. Carlos started learning English after the age of 50, and today he is here to share his story with us. Hi, Carlos. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Jeff. Thank you very much for inviting me. I am very happy to be here today.
We are very happy to have you here, Carlos. So let's start with a simple question. How old were you when you started learning English?
Well, Jeff, I started learning English when I was 52 years old.
52. That's amazing. Many people think it is too late to learn a new language after 40 or 50. Did you think that too? Yes, I did. For many years, I believed that learning English was only for young people. I thought my brain was too old and that learning would be very difficult. That's a very common belief. Many people think that way. So, what changed? Why did you decide to start learning English at 52?
There were a few reasons. First, I always wanted to learn English, but I never had time when I was younger. I was busy working, raising my children, and taking care of my family.
That sounds very familiar to many people.
Yes, life gets busy. But when my children became adults and my work became more stable, I finally had some free time. I started thinking about things I always wanted to do.
And learning English was one of those dreams.
Exactly. Also, my daughter started working for an international company. She often spoke English at home with her colleagues on video calls. I listened and thought, wow, I wish I could understand that.
That must have been interesting.
Yes, and a little frustrating too. I wanted to understand movies, songs, and conversations. So one day I said to myself, Carlos, it's time. Just start.
That's a great moment. The moment when we decide to begin. But tell me honestly, were you afraid at the beginning?
Oh, yes, I was very nervous. I thought the teacher and the other students would laugh at me.
Really?
Yes, I imagined a classroom full of young students speaking perfect English. And then there was me, a 52-year-old beginner. But what actually happened? The reality was very different. My teacher was very patient and friendly. And in my class, there were people of many ages. Some were young, but some were even older than me. That must have made you feel more comfortable. Yes, it did. I realized something very important. Everyone in that class was learning. Nobody was perfect. That's such an important lesson. Many people think they need to be perfect to start learning, but learning is exactly the opposite. Exactly. Making mistakes became part of my learning process. So, tell us about your first English class. What was it like? It was funny, actually. The teacher asked everyone to introduce themselves in English. When it was my turn, I said, hello, my name Carlos. I'm 52 years old.
That sounds like a classic beginner sentence.
Yes, everyone smiled, but in a friendly way. And the teacher helped me say it correctly. My name is Carlos. I am 52 years old.
Small corrections like that are very helpful.
Yes, and I learned quickly that English does not need to be perfect. The important thing is communication.
That's a great point. Many learners are afraid to speak because they worry about grammar.
Yes, but waiting for perfect grammar can stop you from speaking. I decided to speak even if my English was simple. That's a powerful strategy. So, how did you practice English outside the classroom? I tried to make English part of my daily life. How did you do that? First, I started listening to simple podcasts and videos. At the beginning, I understood maybe 10%. Only 10%? Yes, but that was okay. I kept listening every day. Consistency is very important. Exactly. I also started watching movies in English with subtitles. In English subtitles? At first, I used subtitles in my language. Later, I changed to English subtitles. That helped a lot. That's a great tip for learners. Another thing I did was speak to myself in English. You talked to yourself? Yes, sometimes in the kitchen, sometimes while driving. I would say things like, I'm making coffee, or today is a beautiful day. That's actually a very powerful exercise. Yes, because it trains your brain to think in English. Exactly. Thinking in English is a big step for fluency. I also wrote small sentences in a notebook every day. Like a journal? Yes, a simple journal. For example, today I went to the supermarket, or today I watched a movie. Simple, but effective. Very effective. After a few months, I noticed something amazing. What happened? I started understanding more English in movies and videos. Not everything, but much more than before. That must have been very motivating. Yes, it gave me confidence. Confidence is very important in language learning. Did you ever feel discouraged? Of course, there were days when I felt tired or confused. English pronunciation can be tricky. Yes, some sounds are difficult. Sometimes I studied a word and forgot it the next day. That happens to everyone. But I learned something important. Progress is slow, but it is real. That's a great mindset. I also stopped comparing myself to younger students. Why is that important? Because everyone learns at their own pace. My goal was not to be the best student. My goal was to improve a little every day. I love that idea. Improve a little every day. Yes, small progress is still progress. Carlos, many listeners are over 40 or over 50. Some of them feel insecure about learning English. What would you say to them? I would say this: age is not the problem. Fear is the problem. That's a powerful statement. If you remove the fear of making mistakes, learning becomes fun. So mistakes are part of the process. Absolutely. Children learn languages by making thousands of mistakes. That's very true. Another thing I want to say is this: learning English after 50 has advantages too. Really? Tell us more. Older learners usually have more discipline and patience. That's a good point. We also have life experience. We know why we want to learn. Motivation is very important. Yes, when you know your reason, it becomes easier to stay consistent. Carlos, before we finish, can you share 3 simple tips for people who want to start learning English after 50? Of course. Great, we're ready. Tip number 1, start small. What do you mean by that? Don't try to learn everything at once. Learn a few words every day. Simple and realistic. Tip number 2, practice every day, even for 10 or 15 minutes. Consistency again. Yes, short daily practice is better than long study once a week. And tip number 3, have fun with the language. How can people do that? Watch movies, listen to music, follow interesting YouTube channels, and talk to people. Learning should be enjoyable. Exactly. When learning is fun, you continue. Carlos, this conversation was very inspiring. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. Thank you, Jeff. It was a pleasure to be here. And to everyone listening today, remember this: it is never too late to learn something new. Whether you are 20, 40, 50, or even 70, you can start learning English today. That's right. Thank you for listening, everyone. Keep practicing, keep learning, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye. Goodbye, everyone. Keep learning.
If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. See you later.